everyone, welcome to Dinos After Dark, Portland District Library's latest middles art project. My name is Eileen and I'm going to be helping you complete your project today. You should have already picked up your take and make bag here at the library. This is going to have all of the supplies that you need to complete the project today. And today's project, Dinos After Dark, is going to have us making these really cool light up terrariums. And you can either, when you're done with it, set it maybe on a nightstand or on a desk, or you can hang it up somewhere at your home. All right, so in just a minute, I'm going to go over what you received in your take and make bag, and then we're going to jump right into our step-by-step instructions to complete our terrariums. Are you ready to get started? Let's get to it. Everything that you see out in front of me here is going to be what you received in your take and make bag from the library. So you're going to have the two parts of the terrarium, one that's just a solid half circle and then one that has the hole in the front. Then you're going to have this plastic bag and that has fake grass or moss in it. A little container with rocks. Everybody received 2 different dinosaurs in their bags, and then an assortment of these little fake plants and flowers. Then there's going to be a string and also the actual string lights that are going to light up your terrarium. So the nice thing about this project is that you can use a combination of the supplies that you received from the library. You can use all of it, you can just use some of it. You can also add things if you have miniature things at home that you want to put inside. So there are tons of different things that you can do to actually decorate your little terrariums where your dinosaurs are going to live. So that's a really fun part about this project. Now, the first thing that we're going to do is we're actually going to connect the 2 halves of our terrarium together. And you'll notice that there's a little kind of hook at the top, and you're going to want to line those up and then push together. And just make sure that it's actually pushed together all the way around, and then you shouldn't be able to move it or anything. And then it should be able to sit flat, and you'll see that there's the hole in the front, and that's where we're going to put all of our little decorations inside. And the first thing that we're going to want to do is actually put our lights in the terrarium globe. And the light is going to be this, so it's the silver string, and then the little plastic part is where the battery actually goes. And just so you know, on top of the plastic rectangle, there's going to be this white little pull tab, and you have to pull that out to actually make the battery work. And then you'll notice that there's also a little screw at the top, and that's for when the battery runs out and the light doesn't work anymore, you can undo that screw and actually put replacement batteries in. We didn't give you any, but you can purchase them. And then you'll notice on the side of the white rectangle is a black button, and that's going to be the on button. And there's 3 modes to the light. There's going to be the flashing, a slower flashing, and then the solid. So 3 different options for how to actually turn the light on. And then you'll notice that one of the wires is kind of wrapped around, and we're going to undo that so that we can actually put the light into our terrarium globe. And if you need any help with this project or doing any of these steps, make sure you ask an adult for help, or maybe an older sibling, just somebody that can help you with this part. Okay, so then you'll notice you can pretty much undo the entire string of lights. And the important thing to remember about this project is that you want to make sure you can actually get to the on button after you put the light in your terrarium globe. And what I'm going to do is I am going to stick the end that doesn't have the battery on it into my globe. And I am putting this part towards the bottom of my globe, and that way I can put some of my decorations on top. and there will still be light coming from the bottom. And I'm actually gonna go ahead and wrap up part of this before I stick it in. So some of this project will be trial and error, seeing how the different parts come together. But I think that should fit on the bottom pretty nicely. Okay. And then what I'm gonna do next, I think, is, let's see. I know I want to use a little bit of everything that I received in my take and make bag. So I'm going to go ahead and take the moss out. And you might want to cut the moss. You can also just like pull it apart. So kind of up to you how you want to tear that apart if you decide to use it. But I'm just going to take a little chunk of it and separate it out. And then stick it on top of the lights in my terrarium. And then what am I gonna do? Let's see. I think I'm gonna go ahead and put some of my rocks on top of that. And that's just gonna hold the lights and the moss down in place. I do like the way that looks. Okay, set that aside. So I've used all my rocks on the bottom, over the top of my moss and the lights so far. And then I think what I'm gonna do is see how many of these kind of fake plants, I'm gonna use the smaller ones, I can stick around the side. I'm just kind of sticking them in the rocks and that fake grass. Trial and error, kind of putting them in, seeing if I like the way that it looks, taking them out, putting them back in. And I do kind of just have to put 1 or 2 fingers in the opening. My whole hand is too big. Okay. All right, so I do think I really like the way that that looks. So now what I'm gonna do is I left my center open so that I can kind of stick both of my dinosaurs down in there. We'll see if both of them can fit. All right, and then I'm gonna kind of just push them down. Okay, I really like the way that that looks, and you'll notice I didn't use all of the fake plants that I got, and that's okay. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I have this long string of lights left, and I want to just fill the rest of my globe. So I'm just very carefully going to push the rest of the wire in there. And my hope is that it kind of bends into all the extra space at the top. And I did notice that it kind of got stuck in one of my flowers, so I had to kind of use my finger to get it out there, but that's okay. And again, you want to make sure that the actual battery part you still have access to. So you want to be able to turn it on when we're all done. And again, this part you want to just be careful with because I also did not go over one of my dinosaurs, so I had to stand him back up, but that's okay. Okay, so I've got all of my string light in there, and I do have some extra that I'm gonna leave out because what I want to do now is I'm going to take that string and I'm going to thread that through the hole at the top of my globe, because I am going to hang mine up eventually, and you don't necessarily have to hang it up. But what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to thread the string through the little battery pack. And I am going to attach the battery pack kind of towards the back of it using my string. You can also hide your battery pack inside your terrarium if you'd like. But I am just going to go ahead and kind of attach it, like I said, with the string on the back. So it's just going to hang from the back like that. All right, I'm going to tie that. And some of my wire did come out the front, so I'm just going to shove that back in there. And there we have it. We have our finished dinosaur light up terrariums. In just a minute, I'm going to go ahead and turn the light off and show you what my finished terrarium looks like in the dark. Thank you all so much for joining me today for Dinos After Dark. I hope you had all sorts of fun designing your own dinosaur terrarium and deciding what you wanted to use from our supply bag that we gave you. I would love to see any pictures or videos of your finished terrarium hanging up at home, or even you completing this project. And you can send those photos and videos to the email address coming across your screen now. Thank you so much for joining me today for Dinos After Dark. I'll see you next time for more Middles Art. Bye for now.